Good morning, everyone. We are back for another game of Wingspan. After a couple of days, I finally had a chance to go back and watch one of the previous streams, and audio's better. The screen share of the game seemed to be a little bit better, although I kind of cropped it incorrectly. So we're going to try this again and see if it's even better today. So let's go. I'm very curious, and I can't tell because I'm hearing the sound effects and music from the game. I'm curious if it's going out to the stream or not. I don't really have any way to tell right now, so we'll just have to hope that it is. Otherwise, you're just hearing me talk, and that's really boring. So right away, we talked last time about a trick of keeping an extra bird to grab nectar on the first turn from the feeder. So we're going to do that. We'll sacrifice this whip bird. I'm just not a fan of birds that share resources with other players. I know some people are like can look at a bird like that and say, "Oh, think of the big picture. It's benefiting you. You know, it's benefiting you as well as the other player, but you're able to use that more strategically, whereas they're just getting random food." Still, just don't like sharing resources. Like this Phoebe's the same way. All players gaining food from the supply. Not a fan. Not a fan of helping my opponents. So maybe that's just me being too competitive, but Uh, not not great birds in general here. Just gonna say. Um, I think let's look at the tray. Okay, this brown falcon is good, and the whooping crane is good, and the indigo bunting are all pretty good birds. So what I'm gonna do is, if we do this strategically, we can get all three birds in the tray at once. So with the musk duck, so we're gonna use this bird to use the whip bird to get the food from the feeder, get the nectar. And then we'll play the musk duck. We'll just grab some other food to grab the musk duck on our. We'll play the musk duck second turn. Third turn, we'll use it to draw all three birds from the tray, assuming they're still there. All right, birds that can live in multiple habitats or small birds. Hmm. I kind of like the multiple habitats. So let's go with that. There's actually, speaking of birds, I have a one of those suction cup bird feeders on my window, and there is currently a squirrel that is desperately trying to get at it. Let's see if I can turn this around and show you. Oh, look at that! He made it. Squirrels are clever creatures. I'm gonna get. I'm gonna scare him off very quickly. Oh, I've been watching him for the last couple of days as he figures out how to use that feeder to get at the bird food. And it looks like he finally figured it out. So, all right, let's get that. Get the food. Now we'll play the musk duck. I'm hopeful my opponent. Well, oh, there we go. Well, I was about to say I was hopeful my opponent wasn't going to touch the tray, but he grabbed all three of them. So that's not great. Um, okay, so I think we'll just draw a blind. Well, we could sacrifice some food to reset the tray ourselves. I think I'm actually going to do. So let's do that. Okay, that's better. The golden oriole is a good bird. And then we'll draw. Okay, not super excited about that. Okay. So I'm going to draw again because I really like the wood duck and the cardinal. Oh boy. And there's a raven. There was a raven. Okay, let's do to play the wood duck. I'd have to overpay. Don't really want to do that. So what if let's do this. Let's draw again. We'll grab this, reset, grab that. Okay, kind of improvising. Oh, there's another good bird. At some point, you have to just stop looking at the tray because they're every time it gets reset, there's another bird that's really like the ruff is a really powerful bird. Allows you to, at the end of each round, tuck up to three cards and replace them. So if you've got unused cards in your hands at the end of every round, you can get rid of up to three of them and trade them in for better ones. White-backed woodpecker is another bird I really like. It's a food doubler, essentially. Just its power is grab another food from the feeder. There's a couple of birds like that. The American redstart is another one that has a similar power. Really good in the early game. But I think we've got sort of a good setup here, and I think it's time to just go ahead and start getting some birds down. Man, they are drawing birds like crazy. The wood duck, also, by the way, is another bird, a good bird because of it satisfies this bonus card. So let's draw again and get this Oriole played. Uh, okay. I'm going to keep that Kingfisher. That's another good bird early in the game. But I want to get this one down because it's a passive food generation. We easily won that end of round goal. Oh, okay, there and there we go. There's some what we were talking about, some passive food. Now the good thing is I can draw food. I want this Abbott's booby. It's one of my favorite birds, and I can do it in the process of drawing food. So because of the wood duck. So let's do this. Okay, so yeah, we don't want the yellow hammer. So we're going to save the abbots for the end of the game. Um, so for right now, we need to lay eggs. And let's get this one down too, because this is another passive, sort of passive food generating bird. And actually, I think because I want to play the cardinal next, I think I'm actually going to use this. I'm actually going to use my worm. So we'll play the kingfisher. We'll play the. Um, so yeah, we're getting lots of free food, which is great. Play the cardinal. Do I? Now I'm kind of starting to wonder. Do I even want to play the cardinal? I'm getting so much food from my opponent. Wow, he has a lot of cards. What is he doing with all those cards? I don't know that the cardinal is really worth it. Yeah. I think what I'm going to do is we're just going to, I think I'm just going to use the cardinal to lay an extra egg here in a minute. And I'm happy with my food situation. So I think I'm going to actually draw from the feeder and I'm going to reset it. That's what we're going to do. Okay. Not really a big fan of either of those. So let's draw blind. Okay, there we go. That's a good bird. And that's an okay bird. Okay. Um, the mistletoe bird is I'm kind of like that because Oh, not the food I needed. I'm gonna. Hmm, okay. Um. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, a lot just happened there. um. I think this dove I think is actually a better play than the mistletoe bird. It's less expensive and um. Yeah. So I think we're gonna do that in the grassland because it satisfies this end of round goal and doesn't require me to overpay. So what I'm going to do is this. Since this is our last turn, let's go ahead and sacrifice that nectar. That gives me two birds, which should easily win this end of round goal. Um, yeah. Okay. And there's no goal in the third round. So let's start playing some birds. I'm going to draw food because I just don't want to have to overpay. Um, we are still looking for birds that can live in multiple habitats. We need two more. I think that's achievable. So I don't normally like the snow bunting, but I think I'm going to play it this time. I do like getting free food. Okay. So yeah, let's play the snow bunting. Yeah, let's play it there. Not I'm not normally a big fan of the bunting, but in this case, I like it. I cannot get any grain. Okay, neither of you are really exciting. So let's do this guy. Get a look at a bonus card, and then get some food. Okay, so birds that can only live in the wetlands. So we could get three of those. We play the bitter, and it's a good high point bird. And then we'll play the Abbott's booby, which will get us to three. So I need one more bird that can live in any habitat. Not sure what the best way is to do that. Let's draw. Let's get food. I'm gonna draw. I'm not gonna take nectar because we're out of turns. Okay. So that's one more. Here's what I'm thinking about. I want one more bird to max out this bird bander bonus card. Chipping sparrow would do it. Chipping sparrow, a 1 point bird. Um, but you could actually sort of think of it as a 4 point bird because it satisfies that bonus card. Or or I could draw food again and try and draw a better bird, which I think is what we're gonna do. I'm keeping the chipping sparrow though, not sacrificing it for extra food because I don't know that the snow bunting is ever going to get activated. Does he even have a tucking bird? And he's got the ruff. So yeah, just in the hopes he uses his ruff, which I'm curious why the ruff didn't. didn't trigger the. I'm curious why the rough didn't trigger the snow bunting. That's odd. No, no luck. All right, let's play our bonus card birds. We're gonna have to lay eggs first. Okay, so we'll get this one. Let's go ahead and let's just actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's draw one more time to try and get a better bird. I don't need any more food, so I think let's actually just draw from here. This is so bad. Come on, player with the fewest birds. Oh, that's me. Okay. Oh my goodness, so bad. Now there's a great bird. Now the blue winged warbler would be an amazing bird to play, and I'm sort of out of turns. So yeah. Okay. Let's look at this. So this one definitely goes, and then a bunch of 3-point birds. I don't think I could improve. I couldn't improve this one, for example, or this one. I could still get this one, but I wouldn't discard that one anyway. So, okay, let's just get rid of one of these 3-point cards. Now, the decision is what to do with this last turn. I can't believe I couldn't get a better multi-habitat bird than the chipping sparrow with how many turns I took drawing cards. That's crazy. But that's the luck of the draw. What just trying to decide what the smartest thing to do is. This is 4 points. Okay, so if I lay eggs, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 plus one, 5 points. So that's possibility. If I play the chipping sparrow, that's 1 plus 3 minus one for the egg. That doesn't make any sense. I can't play the gallinule, so that would be 7 minus 2 for the eggs. So I think the smartest thing is just to lay eggs. I think that's the best. I think that's the best option I have. I always never like being in a situation where it's like, well, I'll just lay eggs. So I feel like that's means you haven't planned well. So I feel pretty good about this game. We won all three of the end of round goals where there was a goal. Um, we did pretty well on bonus cards. We won all three nectar, all three habitats for nectar. Uh, don't have like a ton of high point birds. We don't have a ton of eggs or tucked cards or cached food. So those are going to be where if the if he does beat me, that's how he's going to do it. 18 points off of bonus cards. That's pretty good. Yeah, had quite a few eggs, quite a few tucked cards. Yeah, that's a good win. 93 points, not a great score. I feel like I just really struggled to find high point birds. And then let's take a look at his habitat real quick. Yeah, it was laying eggs, tucking with the rough. So it's really interesting. So this, correct me if I'm wrong, people maybe you know the answer to this, but this power on the snow bunting, when another player tucks a card for any reason, tuck one from your hand, does the rough not count? Because he's clearly tucking cards behind the rough. Is it because it's an end round power that the pink powers don't happen at the end of a round? I guess I did not. I've played probably thousands of games of Wingspan, hundreds for sure, maybe thousands. I did not know that. That's crazy. But yeah, going back, my frustration is I was trying to max out this bonus card, drawing birds that could live in multiple habitats, and just kept striking out. That was a little frustrating. And then, a lot of fairly low point birds, 2 0 point birds, a 2 point bird just to get started. Um, this the bidder in here was just sort of desperation. I've got to get a high point bird out there, and then get nothing from the snow bunting was a little disappointing. Um, the wood duck though was useful as it always is. Um, and then yeah, and then at the very end for this an 8 point bird that I had the food to play, had the space in -1. That would have been a 10 point swing if I'd had one more turn so to draw the warbler. But can't get everything you want. It's so anyway, thanks for tuning in for this silly thing that I've been doing, playing Wingspan on YouTube for some reason. Thanks to the special guest appearance by the squirrel at my real life bird feeder. And we'll see y'all another day. Have a great day, everyone.